Welcome back everyone, it's Angela. How are you guys doing today? I hope you had a nice restful or pleasurable Easter weekend. I sure got a lot done. I think I had a bit of a spring clean session with my house and got everything washed and cleaned and scrubbed. It makes me feel better. So yeah, I'm back ready to do a little project with you today, and this one is a real cutie. Look at it, look at it. Nice and slim, pretty much. I have put a magnet in here, otherwise it would be slimmer. And you don't have to put a magnet in, you know, but I did it just to keep it closed really. But it's, you know, when you put it into your journal and you close the journal, that's going to sort of sort it out anyway. Anyway, enough nattering from me. Let's have a look and see. Right, so we've got a little pocket on the front here. I've put in two little, a tag which I made from a scrap of paper, and I'll talk you through when I get to it. And then just one of these cards. I did have to print this again and put these to get another set. I'm running out of ephemera, and then I've stuck on the butterfly there. Okay, so that I've just put in front of the other and sliding it into this like that. All right, and then just collaged one of these little flowers. We'll do it on the other one, so you'll see a little ticket, and these are all bits from my Whispers of Spring kit. All right, on the back you've got another little pocket. I've used paper strips on here, just put on one of the fussy cuts and another little card which I've just looped a little ribbon and stuck it on the back there. This is the page I've used for this, and I'll show you how we do that. And I did print on the other side with the dots, the pink dots, and it's not a crisis, because if you are not close to a printer, or you don't print, or any of those reasons, you can just stick a strip there. All right, so it's not a crisis. So that's the front and the back, and then I've just opened it up, and you've got a little pocket over here. See, you could just stick in a piece on that side and on that side. There we go. And then I've made a tag with, got the ears wrong there. There we go. With this piece of scrappy paper in the tray, just made a little tag to fit. And then I've just put in a couple of these, which I did have to print out again because they are the right size for so many of these projects. And there's the little green one. Again, I've put some strips of paper which I've just cut into 1/2 inch wide and stuck on the fussy cuts over there. Yeah. And then what's gone on here? Oh, this has moved. I wondered why it was stiff. And then you just close it up, and there you have it. These didn't take long to make. I think the longest thing was making the ephemera bits, but this would be a great mass make base for any piece of paper that you have. You could go on and stick on the contrasting paper afterwards, even if you've just got single-sided printed pages. All right, so we're going to make these. I'm going to add them to the journal. We'll make some kind of a pocket or something to put them in. You could also just clip them over the side of a page, but I have an idea of how we're going to do that. All right, so let's do that. Right, so as I said, with this one, I've used this background sheet. And for this sheet that we have, I have printed the beige version or background page. All right, so that's what I've done there. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, you don't really need to make any measurements, is decide on how wide you want your pocket to be. Now I've done about, I think it's just over 2.5 inches, so I'm not really fussed. I'm just going to take my finger here and I'm going to turn it up. And as long as you meet it with the edge of your page there, you should be able to run your finger across. And I'm just checking I've got this right. And to do that, you just want to just really go like this Just got that there, and that's pretty good enough for me. All right, so that's all you've done. You've made your pockets on the base. Use your bone folder just to get that nice and flat. We're going to be doing a lot of that in this project. Right, so that's the first thing. You can now open that up again. We're going to fold this page corner to corner. And it doesn't matter what size page you're using, as long as it's a page and you haven't cut anything off it, it will be fine. Right, this is just a standard page. Okay, so now we've got that. So you've got a line down the middle and your pockets over there. And again, just take this and give it a nice burnish. Right, okay. Right, that's going to go up there. We're going to now go to this side, and we are going to fold this to the center, but I would suggest that you leave 1/8 of an inch. So really you're looking at about 3 to 4 millimeters, all right, in metric, and just go pretty close there. You just don't want it to catch. And it might probably be easier to do it this way, and then you can fold your pocket up afterwards, just to prevent the creasing. Did I have it the right way now? No. Can't think what it doesn't really matter, because we'll fold it back whichever way we're going to do it, and it's just easier to see it this way. So I'm going to go with that and just give that a good burnish again. Right, and then the same on the other side, within 1/8 of an inch ish. Right, okay, so that's what you've got now. You've got your center fold, and then we've folded these over as well, and you've got your pockets at the bottom. Okay, so we want to fold our pockets up. That is correct. You want to turn it over this way. Right, you've got it like that, and I'm just making sure that's meeting there. Get it where you want it, and then just give that a good burnish with that pocket. The more you do this, the flatter it will lie. Right, and then the same here. I'm just lining it up, forcing the paper to go where I want it to go. All right, there we go. Yeah, you all with me? Right, so now what I want to do is open one of these, and I'm going to just turn this bit over. I'm leaving a little gap, maybe like again 1/8 of an inch or slightly over, and then I'm going to just press that like that. Yeah, same on this side. Get that over. Teddy's running around my legs. I don't know what he's doing. There's a lot of balls on the floor, so it could be that. Right, so now you've got that, and we're going to stick these down ultimately, but not, and then you've got this. All right, so if you are not printing, I would divide the paper strip there. You just need a little square there and a little square there, like that, and then the bits over there and on that side. All right, okay, so I'm going to put in a magnet now. So the way I did this is mine come in these little cases, which makes it really easy. Because it's in a case, I just want to cut it. Both pieces are in here like that, because I need to trim it to stick together. All right, so I did put mine underneath here so that it wouldn't get in the way of any of the tags. All right, so I'm going to use my fabric tack. Oh, the dustbin van is going down the street. Okay, so forgive me for faffing with this. I tend to just want to see what I'm doing. So I think it's like this. I'm just testing. So if I put this one here, and I'm just looking, here's my fold line. You won't see that. And then I'm just seeing exactly how far away. So if I put that there, just testing, test. All right, and I fold that over. Just do this before you actually glue it in place. And then I think with that one, I had it about here as well. So is it that way? And that's the right way. So we want to, this is why there's a lot of faffing involved. Right, we'll see which way it is now. So when I close that like that, and I close that like that, that's not the right way. Right, so I need to do it this way. Let's just double check. Yeah, I can feel there's a big difference in strength when you do that. Okay, so that was a good spot there. I just got a bit of a wrong angle there, so okay. All right, so hopefully I've got this right. You could use much smaller magnets. It'll make it more flat. I'm not great with those small magnets. That's why I go with these. And I did have them over, so I'm just using them up. Use what you have, guys. All right, and then again, this one as well. I think that's about it. Something like that. All right, now I'm going to just take the rest of the fabric tack, and it's only because it's open, any glue will do. You want to just get that over here. I'll come back and stick it over that bit in a sec. Right, so get that down, and then with any luck, let's just do a little test again. Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, that's very good. It's very strong. Okay. All right, so we've got all of that going on there. So I'm happy with that. Now, this is a good time to just distress anything you want to distress if you want to distress it. Okay, so we've just got that bit there. A little bit over here. Did you have any fun things that you got up to this weekend? I didn't have an overly exciting weekend, but I did have a wonderful walk with my son in a new path. We are very fortunate that we have a lot of public footpaths, a lot of woodland around where I stay. I do stay in the middle of the UK, so in the Midlands. So it's very farmish, and you know, lots of those public foot walkways and stuff, which I love. And I get to have a walk with the dogs pretty much every day. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, so it was lovely. And he had Abby and I had Teddy, and it was a lovely long 1 hour walk. Yeah, it's a highlight of my day, really. I haven't been today. I'm going to go after this. It's a beautiful day here. Right, I'm not going to glue anything there other than I'm going to put a bit of glue just on the end here and the end here. Okay, and we'll just get those stuck down like that. These are going to fold around and you don't need to glue them, so I'm not going to. And then all we need to do is put some glue on this side, and then just halfway here. Okay, and now we can just press that over. And then the same here. Okay. Now I don't want to bend it over until it's sort of done its thing. So this is a good time to get out those strips. Now, any strip of paper I save because it is great for doing what I'm going to do now. Here's another little piece that I had. Oh, that's perfect. I'm going to use that for this bit. And then it's just cutting those strips. It's about 1/2 inch wide. So I keep all of these for this decorating. I just think it does something special. So I'm going to have a little piece over here. I'm going to get that stuck down. Hello, Tedsy boy. Go and eat your chewy that I just gave you and play with your balls. He's scratching my arm. He wants my attention. It's not like he doesn't get my attention all day long. Right, not at the minute. Not at the minute. Right, so we'll do that. And then we'll have a piece on this side as well. Okay. I think it just adds something to it. The green one would also have looked nice here, but I thought I did that in the other, didn't I? I think I put the green one in here. Yeah. I love that sound. Do you know, for years I couldn't work out the magnet thing, and then it took Carol from Oak House Journals to show me how to do it properly. Bless you, Carol. Right. There we go. I've got 2 little strips there, and we're going to put one on the back as well. Yeah, as I was saying, I think these would make a great mass make. And you could just make this base up and then decorate it all, you know, get them all out and do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, so that's the middle section there. So what I'm going to do in the middle here is I've got 2 fussy cuts. Come on. And I'm going to put them here. Yeah. I don't know if that strip of paper just makes it look like it's not just floating in the middle there. It's sort of part of something. I don't know. That's in my head anyway. Gosh, I went all around and no glue came out. Right. Okay. So that's Abby making herself heard. Right, so we've got that over there. Oh, they're playing together. That makes a change. All right, and then on the front, oh sorry, the back, I've got this lovely lady which I'm going to stick down. There we go. And then on the front side I've got the little fussy cut, one of these little tickets. This is going to go on our little card. Can't think straight. Let yourself grow. Yeah. Sometimes we grow, sometimes we bloom. That's how it is. Is it a bloom year or a grow year? I think for me, it's a grow year. Right, so I've got all of that there, and I'm going to get the glue on all of this. So this one, we want to get on first. I'm not going to push it all the way down. I'm just getting it angled. Oh, this is sticking on me. And then this little one here, we want to get that this way, and we're going to just put it like that. Yeah, and then this one, it'll have to go a little bit higher on top of the flower, I'm afraid. So there we go. Okay, Right, I have then got these. I cut these out as I said. I had to print this again. Just go like this if it's not. And then I'm going to take my little butterfly and just over halfway, the bottom half, I'm going to put the glue on and just get that there like that. How cute is that? All right, and then did I get that straight? All right, and then behind that we're going to put one of these tags. Now these was just a long strip of paper, the width of my page, okay, and then I've cut it 2.5 inches wide, and then I cut the piece of paper. I just folded in half and cut it and backed it onto some backing paper and made tags. That's what I've done there. Now I've just got to decide which one I want to put behind. I think I'm going to go with this one. This one, we want to just get the ears right. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to just make that a little bit lower and stick that in the front over here. All right. And then we'll turn that over and we'll stick this one over here like that. Let's do that. And then I've got one of these little cards. I want to just round those little goodies. There we go. And that is in there. And then I've got 2 of these little cuties. Yeah, so I'm going to put Hello Spring over there, and I'm going to put Stop, Sit and Breathe. Nature will do the rest. Isn't that true? Okay, and then on the back we're going to put another one of these, again just with a loop of ribbon, and I'm going to stick that over there. Okay, so now we should be able to close that and give it a nice last press here. Let me just go on the edge of my... And there you have it. I quite like it with the wings sticking out that side too. There you go. How cute is that? Yeah? That's how easy that was. Right, so these 2 we're going to put into our journal. As I say, they're nice and pretty flattish. And we will find a little pocket or a place for them in there. Yeah? These will make beautiful gifts for somebody as well. I think it's a lovely happy mail. Really not long to make at all. All right, everyone, have a fantastic week. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday. I might have a go at the cover. I'm not sure. We'll see how I go. Enjoy the bit of sunshine. We're having a bit of sunshine this week, so spring is definitely here. And I hope that the weather's improving where you are. I think in the southern hemisphere, you must be experiencing autumn, which is also a beautiful season. Autumn and spring are definitely by far my favorite. All right, everyone, stay well. Sending you lots of hugs. See you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.